What's up, guys? If you like nonsense and you also like me making fun of that nonsense, then Satan must be real because I've been praying for this exact moment. Anyways, if you haven't noticed, over the past couple years, there's been this ongoing competition amongst the LGBT community to see who can identify themselves as the most unique gender slash pronoun what have you. It's actually gotten so bad to where if there was enough people saying that they were vampires born in the wrong body, other people would have the audacity to defend them like I wouldn't stab their dumbass with a wooden stake. Like, if y'all thought people claiming that there were 72 genders was radical, just wait till you hear about the next installment of what will the LGBTQ plus equal minus community come up with next. Now, some of y'all are probably like, what the hell are you even talking about? Are you coming out as transgender? I wish, but what prompted me to make this video was something that I saw on Instagram. So a couple days ago, I saw someone post this message to their Instagram, or to their story. Why is it a trend on TikTok to not respect neopronouns? Why do you have to fully understand something to respect it, blah blah whatever. Before I even finished reading that, I seriously thought they meant neopets and that was just some wicked typo. Like, I know what pronouns are, but neopronouns? That sounds like a Pokemon they thought of making, but nobody knew how to make it look. But after asking the homie Google to explain to me what all this is, he's like, yo dog, what a neopet is basically a new category of pronouns that are increasingly being used in the place of he, she, or they. Some examples include z, zem, zer, I think, z, her, hers, and am, air, I'm assuming. Now, first off, what the fuck is any of that? Y'all just named some elements on the periodic table for all I know. And second, they really have a pronoun called spivik. Are you a human or a fucking construction tool? Like, y'all basically had a meeting and were like, hey, you know how the general public already has a hard time figuring out which one of the 72 genders to address us as? Yeah, why? Are you asking because you want to make it harder for them? No, I'm asking because I want to make it impossible for them. Like, just listen to how stupid we're gonna sound in about 10 years if we don't cut this shit off right now. Knee laughed, ner eyes gleam, that is ners. Knee likes themselves, and me thinks that's retarded. Like, am I the only one that's baffled that this is actually becoming a thing we're gonna have to say to each other, but also that this chart was published by the University of North Carolina at Greensboro? As if there wasn't already enough reasons not to visit North Carolina, they go on and release this hideous chart. Like, there are some ideas that should stay ideas. For instance, I had the genius idea to make different color whiteout for art projects until someone said, you mean like paint? Like, what was the point of making all of these if they sound exactly the same as the pronouns we already have? Like, I'd understand if you're like, oh, I want to be called Water Park and Hot Wheels, but Zim? Like Invader Zim? Y'all are setting yourselves up worse than the guy who actually named it Asperger's syndrome.
Why are there hamburgers in your underwear? Are you serious? How could there be... Oh my god! You're saying I have Asperger's?
Like, you want to know why people on TikTok don't respect neopronouns? It's because they're made up, like the Loch Ness Monster, unicorns, and North Dakota. Like, this isn't something y'all discovered in some ancient Egyptian tomb where you're like, oh my god, they called each other Zim and Zur just like we did. Y'all are going off the words of an 18th century nerd who wrote plays. Like, this article that I found that explains what neopronouns are basically says in one section that since people like Shakespeare used pronouns like they and them in their works, it should help people recognize them as legitimate. And I'm like, okay, well that makes no fucking sense. They also married 15-year-olds back then. Do we start recognizing that as being legitimate? Like, Shakespeare had about as much knowledge on your gender-neutral pronouns as Trisha Paytas has on the Holocaust.
You just found out about the Holocaust?
I had no idea.
But that's not all. They also tell us this bullshit story about someone realizing all this and then being like, oh, I guess I'm normal after all. Like, just listen to this load of ass-blasting nonsense. After I came out to my mom, she called me one day just to be like, honey, do you know what I just realized? Shakespeare used they for third person singular, says Tal39. I was amused and kind of touched, but also like, oh, okay, so my pronouns are valid now because Shakespeare said so. Shakespeare didn't say shit to you, alright, Tal, and your mom didn't call you to let you know anything. Who just realizes something like that? She either has to be a theater major or a literal descendant of William fucking Shakespeare. And also, I'm sorry to tell you this, but William Shakespeare isn't the king of trans people. Just because he said something that could pertain to your situation doesn't mean you're right. It means you're delusional. Like, I can guarantee you that when William Shakespeare used they or them to refer to one person, he was not talking about someone like this. Like, all this article is doing is just making up excuses on why these Neopets should be legit, when in reality all they do is just let you know what they are, like Google does, lie to you with some bullshit story about William Shakespeare, and I forgot the last one, and then tell you how to use them as if they don't already mean the same exact thing as he, she, and they. If you need to explain to me how to use your pronouns because the concept you guys came up with is like that out of a Rick and Morty episode, then you can guarantee I will never take you serious. But that's it, guys. You will never catch me calling someone Zer, Zim, Zika, Smegma, herpes, whatever, unless it's ironically, or I just get so much hate that I have to make an apology video. And even then, it'd probably be 5 seconds long, and I just do this and walk off. Peace.
Oh, that's a relief. I thought maybe I had a fever, but oh, my buns! There's a sharp pain in my buns!